Hello and welcome to the Next Gen Racing YouTube channel for our weekend preview. And we've got some cracking action this weekend. Jack and I are back on course together for the first time, I think, since probably Champions Day, Jack. Is that right?
Yeah, it is Champions Day. Goodness me.
Yeah, we've started filming some of these previews early in the morning now. It's Jack and I have had plenty of time to study, throughout the evening and the days prior. Jack, what do you usually have for breakfast, by the way?
See, at the moment, I'm kind of just a bovril on toast, or maybe a bit of Marmite on toast, man. Kind of bringing back to the World War II days. Do you know what I mean? Bit of
Bovril.
World Cups on, be as patriotic as I can be. Bovril on toast. May even have a cup of Bovril as well. Depends how I'm feeling, but yeah, that's what I'm on at the moment.
My word. I mean, I just stick to the bran flakes and a few bits of fruit. The Bovril is so controversial. By the way, World Cup, is there any team? I mean, obviously you want England to win. Is there any team that's caught the eye that you think's going to win it now?
I'm not a football expert. I picked out Argentina at the beginning of the tournament. How did I pick that one out? I know, goodness me, but France look very good, don't they?
Yeah, they do. Yeah, they'd be my selection. I mean, it's not not original, but they do look very, very good. Let's get into the racing then. We've got Aintree and Sandown. We also have Fairyhouse, which we're going to have a brief look at the end of the preview. But we will kick things off with Aintree, and we'll start off with the Many Clouds Chase at 1:30 there. It's 3 mile, 1 furlong. It's a grade 2. And Ahoy Seniors, 7-4. This is at the time of filming. Conflated, 4-1. Chantry House, 6-1. Sound Russian, also 6-1. Do Start, 13-2. Noble Yates, the Grand National, in a 7-1. And double figures, bar these. I mean, I personally, Jack, obviously we're going to Sandown. I've had more of a look at the Sandown card, but I had a brief look at this race, and I think this isn't going to be a race I'd have a big bet on, but I think Chantry House may run a big race here. Now, this horse last season, look, I know I think at the start of the season he won a race, then he was pulled up, then he won, and then he was pulled up again. So potentially, look, he may be good to catch fresh. But what we've got to remember with this horse is that, he was considered a potential Gold Cup, so he obviously ran in the Gold Cup last season, and why could this horse not still be improving and still put himself down as a Gold Cup contender? I'm not saying he's going to be a leading contender, but why could he not announce himself as one of the big outsiders in the race? I think potentially 6-1 is big enough for an each way to nothing potentially bet here. Ahoy Senior. Now we know how good this horse is, and we know how good he was at Aintree at the back end of last season, but you'd have to have a few question marks over that first run. I know they've said he'll come on for that run, but I never like backing a horse after that. Look, he could go and win this by a country mile, and then next time out you might fancy him. But I just can't fancy him at 7-4, far too short. Conflated is a horse that I do like. I'm not overly convinced with him here. So I'm going to take a chance here, Jack. Chantry House at 6-1, each way bet to nothing. Do you think Ahoy Senor's too short? Do you think he should just win this?
It's an interesting one. I don't think there's any value there at 7-4 mine, but I think you're a brave man taking on a hoist and you're going back to Aintree. He absolutely loves the place, doesn't he? I mean, in that mile, he jumped them silly, and I mean, what a performance that was. And again, it went as a novice hurdler as well, when winning the grade 1 there in April. I mean, goodness me, he loves Aintree. So I think you're a brave man to be taking him on. Of course, he was a Gold Cup hope before his disappointing run last time out. Chantry House, I'd probably say, instead of an each way bet to nothing, I mean, he's only won or been pulled up since December 2020. So I'd probably just be going for the win part of the bet there. And I don't think 11-2 is the worst price in the world. I just feel like I'd never get him on his right day. I think he's one that I just don't seem to pick out when he's on song. Sounds Russian's very interesting as well, just being progressing. And I'm sure if he wasn't trained by Ruth Jefferson, he'd probably be a lot shorter than he is now. But I'm actually going to go for the Grand National winner here, Noble Yates. I just thought his jumping looked a lot more assured when he beat Run Wild Fred last time out at Wexford. Yes, it was on heavy ground, and yes, he was pulled up at Auteuil in October. But I do think that was a really good run over 2 miles 7. Of course, he stays. We saw that in the National. And I do think he's still progressing. I think that was probably actually on RPRs anyway. It was a career best, better than his national win. And I do think he's actually a little bit of a dark horse as well going into the King George, which I think is pretty interesting. So I think obviously he's going to stay. He'll handle the conditions. Hopefully there's a bit more rain for him. But I think Noble Yates could definitely outrun his odds at about 7-1.
Okay, Noble Yates, Grand National winner for Jack, 7-1. I'm going to be with Chantry House at 6-1. So selection in the first from myself and Jack. We move on now to the big handicap there at Aintree, which is the Beecher Handicap Chase at 205. 3.25 miles for this handicap over the national fences. And Geskill and Ashdown Lad, joint favourites at 5-1. Captain Kangaroos, 8-1. Snow Leopardess, she's a brave warrior. And Hill 16, 10-1. The Wolf and 5-Star Getaway, 12-1, 16-1. Bar those. Now I'm doing it, Jack. Revenge is going to be so sweet here Guestkill will be winning. I know not as big a price. I think I put this horse up at around 14-1 each way in the Grand Sefton when we previewed that a few weeks back. And look, I got done by a nose. How unlucky was that? But look, this horse is now stepping up in trip and potentially listening to the trainer's comments saying that it's a bit of an unknown, but they can see this being that improvement could come. And you could probably see that from that last run. The horse was staying on really well, only up £4 from that Grand Sefton run. A real swift mover over these fences, jumped these fences so well in the Grand Sefton. You want a horse that can jump these fences well. I'm a big fan of Guestkill. I'm going to go in one last time. I mean, I was each way last time, so there's no loss there, but I'm going to have a win bet here. Guestkill at 5-1 in the Beecher handicap chase. Have you got a big opinion here, Jack?
No, not really. The Beach isn't a race that I really don't like getting involved with whatsoever. I hope you do get your redemption with Guestkill. But one that I think could still be well handicapped is the 10-year-old Darasha Counter, who, of course, was unseated in the National. I think it was about the 8th fence, but he was jumping okay. And I think a mark of 146. I don't think he's not well handicapped. I know he ran in a Veterans Chase last time out, but I think of a mark of 146. He's 18-1. That's really where I'd lean.
Okay, yeah, not a big betting race for Jack, but a small mention there for Darasha Counter. But I will be with Guestkill at 5-1 in the Beecher. Let's head over to Sandown then. This is where Jack and I will be on Saturday. Do come over and say hello to us. Don't worry, Jack, I won't tell everyone that you're going to buy them beers again. But if you do see us around the course, do come up and say hello. Jack and I will probably be together for parts of it. We may be on our own, but do not be afraid to come over and have a chat. We look forward to meeting some of you. We start off with the Close Brothers, Henry VIII Novice Chase. 145 this race, a grade 1 for the novice chasers. John Bon is the 2-5 favourite. Boot Hill is 15-8. Montmoral 8-1. Unexpected Party 16-1. And Honor d'Argent is 100-1. I suppose, Jack, we should preview this in kind of make it look like two races, because we don't know if John Bon and Montmoral are definitely going to go. I mean, I think Montmoral's going to be skipping this by the sound of Nichols, and John Bon is all going to be decided by the ground. We'll talk about the Tingle Creek in a minute. But if John Bon goes, he wins. If he doesn't go, what happens?
Boot Hill wins. It's just not... it's an interesting race to be previewing, because Nicky Henderson has been kind of the bane of our life for the last few weeks, hasn't he? I mean, we don't know what's going on. As you say, I don't think he'll probably run Jean Bon or Shishkin, which we'll come on to later. But I'm just a little bit annoyed that I didn't get on Unexpected Party or Honor d'Argent. We were talking about this before we came on air. Anti-post each way when we didn't think Jean Bon or Montmoral were actually going to get declared. So, weren't going to run. So, no, look, Boot Hill looked relatively assured last time out. I think he'll probably win. He'll go off probably 2s or 3s on if Jean Bon and Montmoral don't go. And if Jean Bon, of course, we had the chat about his Arkle price anyway. If he goes, obviously, yeah, he's going to win.
Yeah, and if he does go and win, he's going to shorten up massively, probably into about 11-10 even money, I'd imagine, for the race. I'm with you, Jack. Look, I think Boot Hill probably will just win this if John Bon doesn't go. I mean, like we said, like this anti-post betting thing, some punters may have done it. If you've done it, then fair play. And if it does end up a 3-horse race, you're laughing. But Boot Hill was 2-1 at one point in the week. Like, you could have backed Boot Hill, Unexpected Party, and Honor d'Argent, and you're basically on to a winner. You know, you guaranteed kind of money there. I mean, Boot Hill, you'd obviously get your money back, but with the two outsiders, you could end up with a nice profit. But it's a really interesting race. I think Unexpected Party, if you had the each way anti-post and those two come out, you are laughing. But I think Boot Hill should be winning this. I don't think it will be a very good grade 1 winner, mind you. Probably one of the weaker runnings of this race that we've ever seen. But yeah, without John Bon, it will be Boot Hill for myself and Jack. Let's go on to the big one. It's the Tingle Creek. 2 miles here, 2:55, a grade 1. Greenatine is 11-10, Shishkin 6-4, Edwardstone 7-1, Gentleman de Me is 8-1, Captain Guinness, last year's third, is 10-1, Fernando Savola 16-1, and Dunvegan is the outsider at 33-1. Again, we'll preview this in 2 parts, shall we? Because if it comes up good ground, we know Nicky Henderson, Alan King, their comments in the Racing Post earlier in the week saying that they're going to monitor the ground, and Shishkin and Edwardstone probably won't be running if the ground is good, which leaves last year's winner, Greenatine, at the head of the market. Definitely going to be odds on if that's the case. I said to you earlier in the week, the horse was 2-1. And I said that I thought this was value. And this was value with the 2 horses in the race, with Edwardstone and Shishkin in the race. And you were in complete disagreement with me here, Jack. Tell me why.
Yeah, I'd say it's probably the biggest disagreement we've probably had a long, long time, actually. I was just saying 2-1 with Grenadine, with Edwardstone and Shishkin potentially going. And this was when the ground was still good to soft on the chase course. I think there was even soft in places. The hurdles course was soft all over. I just thought 2-1 at the price for Grenadine, you're giving him a 33% chance of winning when Shishkin might be there, when Edwardstone might be there. I don't think Gentleman Demi's no mug as well. I just thought 2-1 when Shishkin was even money. I thought there was no value there whatsoever. And I was so happy, as I said to you, to sit back, to watch him win. And those with the 2-1 slips would go, yeah, I've had good value there. But no, I don't think that was good value at all. I think, yeah, it will be a good winner on the day, but I don't know if it was more of kind of like a lucky bit of value at 2-1 than anything else. I mean, as you say, I think there was a big gamble whether Shishkin or Edwardstone are going to run. In the end, I think those who backed Grenadine anti-post at 2-1 are going to be right and probably have a winning bet slip in their hands. But I mean, if I went back in time and still had that 2-1, would I back it? No, I don't think I would.
Wow. See, this is the game. It's all about opinions, and it's one of those. Like, I mean, I've spoke to friends who live around Sandown. By the way, there has been no rain all week. If you've looked at the weather forecast, I can confirm there's been no rain at Sandown all week. So they are unlikely to run. I just think the Grenadine, right, this horse here, he's not going to be out of probably the top four in the market. We're looking at Shishkin, Edwardstone, Gentleman Demi. He's the only one in here that's probably not going to be a champion chase type horse. Like he's not going to go for that race. So this is kind of like his big grade one. He'll probably have a big grade one at Aintree as well. But Grinty, I thought he was exceptional at Exeter, by the way. I thought he looked an even better horse. And Nichols was very bullish before that race, saying he's better than we've ever had him. He went and won that in really good style. And he's last year's winner, and he was underestimated last year. Wasn't he like 3-1 at the start of the day and drifted out to like 9s? For this race last year, I remember.
4-1 and drifted out to 9s, as you said.
It was a really unusual drift, and then Bryony went and won this. And look, Bryony's not going to be on Grenadine at the weekend. Harry Cobden's obviously going to take the ride now. Unfortunately, she's going to be out with a broken collarbone. But I just think last year's winner, you cannot oppose this horse. He absolutely loves Sandown. I know Edwardstone, this horse here, won the Henry VIII last year. I'm still not convinced Edwardstone is as good as people think. I think it was a very weak division last year. And like we say, he probably won't run. Gentleman Demi, I'm not sure. I mean, he's probably going to run, isn't he? But I have a few question marks with regards to him. Captain Guinness, I think, is a live outsider in here because this horse was third last year. Excellent comeback run at the start, like only a few weeks back. I think that's the play potentially each way in this race if you were to have an each way bet. Unfortunately, we don't have the 8 runners, but you may find some bookmakers pay 3 places, but they definitely won't if Shishkin and Edwardstone come out. But yeah, Grenadine, look, 11-10 now. It's not a big play. I did back this horse at 2-1 early in the week. I thought it was good value. Last year's winner came back with an exceptional run. I think he will be winning this, Jack. So
let's just say I haven't once said he's not going to win. I do think.
Yeah, I know. You said.
I just don't think it was value.
Right, no, that's fair enough. So, I mean, realistically, who are you going to play? Let's say that they all run. Who are you going to play? If the 2 big guns come out, who are you going to play?
I mean, if I don't, I mean, I wouldn't be having a bet either way because I just don't think any prices are really worth getting on. If Shishkin did go and Grenadine drifted to 3s or 7-2, I'd probably have a small win play on Grenadine with Shishkin in the market. With Shishkin out, I probably wouldn't be having him, and Edwardstone out, I wouldn't be having him play at all.
There you go. Watch him brief for Jack. But I'll have Grenadine every day of the week. Let's go on to the big handicap there at Sandown. One of my favourite races over 3 mile, 5 furlongs. The London National Handicap Chase, the final race on the card here. Revels Hill's very short for this race. 2-1. Dysharba and Quick Wave for the Venetia Williams team. They're in great form. 4-1. Fortest 6-1. Sidious Mao is 7-1. Flash Collonge and Eclair de Guy 8-1 and 16-1 and bigger the rest. I think that's a great bet in here, Jack, and I think it's Flash Collonge who has to be the bet. 2 runs this season, both on quick going. This horse isn't going to mind the good ground. Look, as a novice, this horse, I mean, it's still a maiden as a novice, but look, second behind Dusart, second behind Time Hill recently. I know some people weren't convinced with Time Hill, and I think there's a lot to be learnt with that horse. I think there's still more to come. Look, he's well regarded in the Nichols camp. Rating of 130 should be fair enough for this horse. Like I say, still a maiden over fences. But look, could be a perfect way to break that. And the stable won this last year with Highland Hunter. He's definitely the most progressive in the field. I think around 8-1, Flash Collonge is an excellent bet. I'd also give a mention for a horse at a big price called Planned Paradise here. Now, this horse is one who will also appreciate the good ground. This horse's last win came at Worcester back in June. Now, he got raised £8 for that run. He's now, after his last 2 mediocre runs, been dropped back down and now only £6 higher than that winning mark. And he does make a few mistakes at fences and has been known for that and hasn't raced anything over 3.25 miles. But I wouldn't be surprised to see him run a big race as long as he doesn't get caught out by those railway fences. I think he could run well at a big price. It wouldn't shock me for the Mulholland stable. But I think Flash Collonge is a superb bet here. I'll be backing this horse each way. One of my better bets of Saturday. Have you got a fancy in this, Jack?
Yeah, I'm with you with Flash Collonge. Of course, he's related to Neptune Collonge as well, the Grand National winner. Going to stay, won't mind the ground. I thought has been jumping okay in small runner fields. I do think sometimes you can be a little bit overlooked, as you say, in squash the form of these small runner fields as such. But I do think at 8-1, I think it's 8-1. I think he's in the right price as well.
Yeah, agreed. So Flash Collonge for myself and Jack. Hopefully give us a big run in the London Grand National Handicap Chase. Now, we won't be covering races officially from here. We won't go for each race individually, but Fairyhouse returns on Sunday with a highlight there probably being the Hatton's Grace, with Honeysuckle looking to set a record fourth time of winning the Hatton's Grace, which would be mega to see. I mean, we had Constitution Hill run last week, and we've got the other big champion hurdle contender running this week. So, be exciting to see her back. Jack, we also have the Royal Bond and the Drinmore Novice Chase. Is there anything that stands out on the card at Fairyhouse there on Sunday?
Really looking forward to seeing Champ Kylie back in the Royal Bond. Not too sure if they're going to go Supreme or Ballymore. I hope they choose to go Ballymore. Definitely stays 2.5. I thought he was really impressive last time out when getting the better of Brazil in that grade 3. Of course, you've got Marine Nationale in there, who has to be respected. Looked very classy last time out. But no, hopefully Honeysuckle will go do the business. I mean, I know you're of the opinion that she may actually retire before the champion hurdle, so that'll be interesting.
Whoa.
Oh, is that not you? Sorry. Just that, is that someone else?
Yeah, we'll keep this in. Whoever has said that is ludicrous. I don't know who has said that. She's not going to retire before champion hurdle. I think if there is a controversial opinion with regards to this horse, is that she could go to the mare's hurdle as a backup. Like, that's probably the most controversial you could get. She's not going to retire. I don't know who you've been speaking to. That person there needs telling something, because
maintain an unbeaten record. She goes out with a bang. I don't know. I've heard worse thoughts. I mean, she's 8 now. She's going to be 9 next year. She's getting on a bit. It's interesting.
I think if they get to a stage like Constitution Hill and they really don't want to be facing that, then they could go mares, which they've won before. But I think they should take their chance, give the people what they want to see. Look, if she finished second behind possibly one of the best hurdlers we've ever seen, then I still don't think, we can say that she still goes out on a massive high. Personally. Wow, okay. I'm quite excited if we see this horse's Banbridge again in the Drinmore. Stands out to me at around 7-2. I don't know if we're definitely seeing this horse, but I put this horse up for the Arkle trial at Cheltenham only a few weeks back at, I think, 11-4. Similar price here, but I was very impressed. We know the step up in trip will suit this horse, but taking on much better horses, there's no doubt about it. Free Stripe Live, Hollow Games, Mighty Potter potentially running here. I don't think we'll see them all, but there's every chance that he could be facing a couple of these. And I just think he's a proper horse and could be very progressive for the Joseph O'Brien stable. I know they mentioned after Mark Pipe that they were very keen to go over fences and quite excited by this horse. So, yeah, I'm going to have a go with Banbridge at around 7-2 this weekend. He, again, will probably be one of my better bets moving forward into the weekend. Right, before I get into the outro, we better get kind of best bets and bets elsewhere. Before we came on, I said, have you got a Napa next best? Do you know what? I'll decide during the video. So let's hear that decision.
Yeah, I do. Obviously, Lang and Dan's out at Aintree in the 3:15 on Saturday. He's not going to be the Nap. Just thought I had to get it in there.
Have you just mentioned him? Is that it?
Yeah, just mentioning him. That's all. Another one to mention is Shannon Royale was running in the running at the weekend in a bumper. I think it's for the Gordon Elliott team. Jumped really impressively over 3 miles on his point to point. So I'm just going to be interested to see how I think he's going to be a good staying chaser down the line. But be interested to see how he goes on his bumper debut. And Chapeau du Soleil as well, the current champion bumper favourite, is going to be out as well. So be interested to see how he runs. Gerald de Menil's also out, as you said. But no, the Nap is going to be if Ralph McNee goes to Huntingdon on Sunday and not the first race at Sandown. I think he's going to win and win very comfortably. I don't know what price he's going to be, but he travelled an absolute dream, jumped delightfully at Cheltenham last time out, got hampered, made a mistake at the last. Made a mistake at the last. The saddle slipped, and then he was pretty much eased off when he finished 10th that day. But I think Raf McNee is a sound jumper over 2 miles. He stays 2 mile 4 as well. I think he'll be winning a decent pot soon, but hopefully not if he goes to Sandown because authorised speed is in there. But no, the 220 on Saturday at Sandown is the handicap hurdle where Love Envoy is going to be seen again.
Can we
Now,
see the notes for this? Can we see the
pardon?
notes? Can we show how much you've put into this? Just show the rough
Oh
notes
yeah,
of this.
I just priced
Look
up.
at it. Like, Jack has gone fully
Yeah.
into this race, so very disappointed if you can't find us the winner, Jack.
Absolutely love this race. I think it's brilliant. Love Envoy's an interesting one. Obviously, she's a sound jumper. She's still maybe well handicapped at 139. She could just be too good. I hope no ordinary Joe goes off like the clappers. He pulled very hard in the Greatwood when he was third, and last time out when pulled up at Ascot. But there's actually going to be a couple that I'm probably going to take outside of Love Envoy, although she's going to win. Now, Nayati, the Donald McCain trained Nayati, may go to Aintree, but Donald McCain, you're not watching. But if you are watching, please send him to Sandown because he wants a quick 2 miles. He really does. He was a sound jumper. Last time out when he won, I think he won by 2 lengths in the end. That really did not tell the whole story. They went an absolute crawl and he showed a great turn of foot in the running to keep on really well. I mean, he stayed on from the rear of the field to finish third at Cheltenham as well in his penultimate run. Nayati is at the moment there's 20-1. I think that's a really good price if he does go. And the other one's On Public as well, who won really nicely last time out, travelled kind of on the inside of the rear of the field as well. He's 8-1 at the moment. So Nayati, if he goes, he's 20-1. We'll see if he gets declared. And On Public's 8-1. So they're the couple that I'll be taking each way, or without Love Envoy.
Yeah, On Public, the horse in the Geskill connections, I believe. So hopefully a big weekend for that stable. My nap is going to be Flash Collonge in the London National Handicap Chase. I'm not sure Jack will be disagreeing with that being a fair bet. And my next best will be Banbridge in the Drinmore at 7-2. I'm going to take the chance there out of Fairyhouse. So yeah, there you go. You can see those on the screen now. They are our best bets for this Saturday. And there we go. That is it for this weekend preview. Jack and I will be back next weekend. We'll have plenty of good racing to look forward to next week. Like I say, we'll be at Sandown on Saturday. Do come over, say hello. We look forward to meeting plenty of you there. Let us know down in the comments who your best bets are this weekend. I think we should start doing it. If you put your best bets in there, we'll start giving them a shout out the week after if they do land, to anyone who does have a winner. So yeah, let us know who they are this weekend. Give the video a like, subscribe if you haven't already, and we will see you again next week. Thanks for watching.